Joining us live is the Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, Simon Birmingham. Simon, appreciate your time this morning, as always. So we'll just keep that conversation going, as I said. So confirmation from Stephen Jones yesterday that the government blocked extra Qatar Airways flights to keep Qantas profitable. Should that be the government's job?
Well, it's not the government's job to automatically make Qantas profitable. Of course, we want to see the national carrier be profitable and for it not to need government intervention or bailing out. But there's no transparency around the basis upon which the government formed this decision, and of course it's a decision for which the government has given umpteen different reasons now. We've had reasons thrown up in terms of behaviour of officials in Qatar, we've had reasons about Qantas's profitability, we've had reasons about questions around purchasing of new aircraft. There have been numerous reasons, and the Transport Minister has been unable to give a clear answer. She certainly hasn't given a clear answer as to what the Prime Minister's involvement in the decision was either, and whether in fact he lobbied her or he urged her to reject that application. And that's the type of transparency that there should be. It should be clear-cut as to why they did this, the grounds upon which they did this, so that everyone can scrutinise whether it was remotely in Australia's national interests or whether instead it is just pushing up the price of air tickets for Australians, along with all of the other cost of living pressures Australians are facing right now.
Okay, interesting. You just pointed to the behaviour of officials in Qatar. That made some headlines earlier this year and last year as well. So are you saying that there might be a little bit of revenge at play here against the Qatari government?
Well, it's only for the government to be able to say actually what the honest answer is. That was a line or a couple of remarks made by the Transport Minister in one of her many interviews trying to defend this, but she's had no consistent rationale, issued no clear explanation publicly that people can properly scrutinise and analyse. And where is the analysis actually underpinning this? Because fundamentally, this should be an economic decision about whether the transport routes into Australia can and should sustain these extra landing slots being allocated to Qatar, and if they can, then we should see that increased competition in our market to make sure that Australians get the best deal travelling internationally. As I said, we all want to see our national carrier remain in a strong position. As you just said, there's nothing wrong with them making a profit. Indeed, that profit is returned to shareholders right across Australia, many of whom in their superannuation funds. But we want as much competition in our aviation market too. And this government has gone through a decision-making process completely lacking in transparency, completely lacking in analysis, and not being clear at all about what the role of the Prime Minister was in that decision.
Is there any beef that you know of between us and Qatar?
No, in broad terms. There were concerns in relation to the treatment of some Australian passengers at an airport check there. That's well known, and rightly the Australian government expressed concerns at that time. There are some ongoing legal matters playing out from some of those customers who were affected, and it's quite right that we raised those concerns. But in terms of decisions about landing slots and those types of what should be technical decisions, there's no reason for them not to be treated on the same grounds and same terms as you would any other decision about whether it is a fundamentally valid economic decision to make in Australia's interests or not.